Okay, I'm excited. I'm going to mute myself too.
Okay. All right.
And me too.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming to the team call. Tonight, Jason Plotkin is our guest speaker. He's going to talk tonight. He joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, and when he got out of the Marine Corps, I think you were in for 4 years. And when he got out, he got a job in the oil field, which is popular around where we live. We live kind of close to each other, a few hours. So anyways, he got a job there. He was there for 5 years. He eventually got laid off very recently due to seniority. He lacked enough seniority to keep his job, so he got laid off. And he had a love-hate relationship with his job. He made great money, but he spent a lot of time away from home, as I understand it, right, Jason? And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise. His wife, Katie, she started coaching about a year ago. And at first, I know Jason, he thought, this isn't for me. This is like sweaty selfies and girls stuff. I'm not going to be a coach. This is ridiculous. So that was like his experience with it. That's the way he perceived it. And Katie had great success. I'll let him explain any of that if he wants to. And so he started coming around. Then him and I met and started talking. So, but he went to the men's retreat like last weekend or the weekend before, and he had great takeaways. He's going with Beachbody full time now, so I'll just let you take over, Jason. You can start talking to us about the retreat.
All right, thank you, Derek. Thank you. Yeah, so Katie started for about a year, and she tried pushing me to do it, and I was just like, nah, no, that's not my deal. So so finally, once I got laid off, I was actually sitting on the couch, starting my truck. What got me started, my truck got repossessed, and so I was like, hey, we need to figure out something to make some money here. And so I started full time, and good things happen when you start full time, because then 2 days later I was called to go on a Hammer and Chisel infomercial. So all good things.
I forgot to say that.
Forgot to mention me. Yeah. So
deal he made it to the infomercial. He has an amazing transformation story.
Yeah. Can't believe you forgot the most important part.
Tell that story, because that story rocks. It's worth hearing.
What all right, so it was 2 days after I started going with Beachbody. I was sitting there filling out my activity tracker actually at the table here, and a phone rings from Santa Monica, California, and it was like a real number. I thought to myself, well, it can't be a bill collector. They're normally 1-800 numbers. So I picked it up, and it was like, hey, this is I forget her name, but she's like, producer from Beachbody. What are you doing on Tuesday? Now, this was Thursday. I said, nothing. She's like, okay, well, can you be out in Santa Monica, California Tuesday? We'll fly you out. I was like, well, I don't know. Let me check with my wife. So Katie comes running out of the bedroom. She's like, what was that about? I said, Beachbody wants me to go out to California for the infomercial. And she's like, well, why didn't you tell them yes? You're unemployed. You have nothing else to do but be in Santa Monica, California. I was like, I don't know why. I was like, Beachbody calls you and asks you. I was kind of like, well, I don't know. So I called them back. They flew me out there. Within an hour, I had my plane ticket. Flew me out there to California, and did a photo shoot and the interview, all expense paid trip. You didn't have to worry about nothing. Put me up in a real nice hotel. Had a free day there. Got to go hiking and see California. It was a good time. It was a really good time. And the infomercial aired, I think, like 3 weeks ago. It was just a test run, but I was in it and I looked good. So super excited. So, and once I guess they're coming out with the full one in a couple weeks. So as soon as I find out, I'll let everyone else know. But so back to the men's retreat. So it was pretty cool. I actually got in. I found out real late about it, but got the ticket at the last minute and everything. So there's a lot of great speakers. Carl Deichler, Gary Vaynerchuk, all that was one. So we were surprised from the beginning when Carl Deichler came out. No one knew he was supposed to be there. So he came out, kind of gave us a talk, and just told us how excited he was that we were a bunch of guys getting together and changing the image that it's just a woman business and that guys can't be successful and stuff. So he just kind of talked about that. Didn't really give us anything takeaway. Just told us pretty much he was proud of us from being like the big dad. So let's see where we got here. It was a fast-paced thing. It was a day and a half only, and they jam-packed it full of money. All right, so we'll start with Gary Vaynerchuk because he was for that first day, he was like the highlight of it. So said there's some core pillars to the business and that we all need to worry about. Get out of here. Go. We must be passionate about the product. He said he started out by saying his first words out of his mouth was he does not like MLMs. He does not think it's a very good business model, and he just doesn't like it because far too many people aren't passionate about what they do. They just try to sell a product just to make money. It doesn't matter. They don't use it. They don't like it. They just know, hey, this will make a lot of money. He said there's always them people who are trying to find that one person to make the business successful for themselves. They're always looking for someone else to work for them. He said that's why he doesn't like the business model overall. It's not that he doesn't like Beachbody. He just doesn't like the overall business model. So he said you must be passionate. You have to be passionate about the products. He's the only thing he is passionate about is his product. That's everything to him. And then he went on to say, if you're uncomfortable about what people think about the business, or if you're uncomfortable about saying that you work for Beachbody or you sell their products or market for them, he said you're in the wrong business. He said if you're uncomfortable and you don't want to tell people what you do, he said just leave. He said 33% of you shouldn't be in this room right now, and you need to just get up and leave. He said don't be half pregnant. That's how he put it. So be all in or all out. Either one, you got to be okay with it. And then complaining. Complaining is a zero return investment. You get nothing out of complaining. It does no good for you or anybody else. He said he can tell from Jump Street what kind of person you are by when you sit down and have a conversation, the words that come out of your mouth. Even if you complain about little things, he said, it's a zero return investment and you don't get anything out of it. You need to make sure you have your shit together, he said. You need to be able to know your product inside and out, be able to tell them about it, and understand the people that you're selling it to. He said, know your market, know the people you're marketing to, but not just know them up front. Think of it like a computer. Everyone knows how to turn it on, use your keyboard and everything. Get into it. You need to understand the insides of the computer, how the processors and everything else works. That's what you need to do with your market. You need to know all of that. And then understand where your people are. Understand where it is underpriced to advertise and everything. And right now, he said the people are at Facebook ads and Snapchat, believe it or not. He said Snapchat is where it's at. He said if you don't want to be there because you think it's a little kid's app and you just take funny pictures and everything like that, he said that's fine. There's just more people for him to market to. But he said Snapchat, need to be on Snapchat and Facebook ads. There we go. And then punt your weaknesses. He said stop focusing on what you're bad at. Don't try to better yourself at what you're bad at. He said take what you are good at and run with it. And he said just punt your weaknesses out. Get rid of them. He said like if you're great at writing blogs and stuff, don't try to be like Trey and make these amazing videos. He said if you're great at writing stories and typing like that, blog, do stuff like that. But don't focus on your weaknesses. Don't try to make your weaknesses better. He said if anything, try to make your strengths that much more stronger. And then half pregnant. And then create self-awareness. Find out what people think about you who are around you. He said find the 5 to 7 people who are the closest to you and have them tell you what they really think about you. And he said it's going to take time for them to feel comfortable telling you what they really think about you. He said, like, go to your parents. They're the best ones. He said for a while it might be a little weird. They won't want to talk to you and tell you exactly what they feel. But you got to reassure them that that's what you want to hear. You want to hear exactly what they think. And then everything in the world that is wrong with you is your fault. He said, stop blaming other people for your problems. If it's happened to you, or it's your fault. You can look back on any kind of incident and find somewhere where you messed up and it was your fault. He even went as far as to say that if you were in a car accident and you were rear-ended at a stoplight, you can look at it and say, there's no way this is my fault. There's no way this is my fault. But he said, if you took another second to go get a drink out of your refrigerator, or you took a different route that day, you would have never got rear-ended. So he said the more that you can look at things and make it your fault and you can take ownership for it, the better off you'll be and the more you'll look to better yourself. And then kick out the loser friends in your life. If you have people who are negative and always downing you and don't believe in your business and stuff like that, I said kick them out of your life. Said if they're your Facebook friends, then get rid of them. You don't need them. All they're going to do is suck your energy out of you and cause you to look at the business as a negative thing. And then, what is it? Oh, I lost my spot here. Oh, okay, and then he was saying don't blame your upline for your problems either. He said don't if you can't make it or something's not going wrong, don't look at your upline as they're not helping you or they don't know enough, so you're not learning enough. He said you can go anywhere in this world and find what you need to find. There's Google, Facebook, YouTube. You can find out anything that you need to find. He said there's people who are making $100,000 a year on YouTube just unboxing shit. You know what I mean? He said it's ridiculous that you can make that much money just unboxing toys. He said, so anything, you can do anything you want if you want to go find out how to do it. And then he said, don't too many people push stuff up front and tell them how great everything is up front. And he said it's called peacocking, like show your feathers, like, oh, I'm so great and I make this much money, or you're going to lose this much weight with the 21-day fix. Tell them, oh, you'll lose 50 pounds with the 21-day fix. I know someone who did it. And then you get the person who comes in and they don't lose that much weight. And then they're just disappointed. He said, share your story, but don't overtell it. You know what I mean? Because then all you do is create angry people down the line when they don't get what you want. And then you lose their trust. And that was a big thing with the whole thing, is all about trust. And you want to build people's trust. And don't sell a fake lifestyle. If you put something on Facebook, make it who you are, because they'll find out. And you don't want to be Instagram famous, he said. So, all right, now what else? Become an expert in the product. He couldn't stress that enough. He said, become an expert in the product and talk about the products more. He actually said that he thinks one of the biggest problems with our business in general, because he said he did a lot of his homework on the way over here. He said, share your products. He said he doesn't think we share our products enough. He said, so that's what he said. Then you see other people, we get here a lot, don't share too much. I guess it's all about how you share it. But he said he doesn't think that we share it enough, that we should share it more. And he said, and he finished off with, for the guys on the call, he said that we all look at it and say, oh, it's a girl business and it's so easy for the girls and the girls have it easy. And he said, he made a point. He's like, do you think it's easy for the girls to go on their page and see creepy ass guys telling them how beautiful they are and how big their tits are and stuff? Sorry, ladies. But he said, do you think that's easy? He's like, do you think that's fun? Do you think they want to deal with that kind of stuff? So, I mean, he kind of spun it to a light where it's like you really don't think about that. You know what I mean? Katie gets about 100 friend requests from her Arab guys every day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you take it what it is. But so after Gary Vaynerchuk talked, I'll go to Dave Ingram talked. and Vito LaFada, and they both went together. They talked about sharing your story, and I feel like that was a big thing for me because I struggle with sharing my story and everything like that. And so what they were talking about is Dave Ingram said everyone should get the book Tell to Win. I don't know if anyone's ever read it. I got it on Audible and listened to it. It's he goes through a bunch of different scenarios of how he's seen telling an actual story helped him in life or other people. And it's a pretty good book, so it's definitely a good read. I haven't finished it, but so he said when you're sharing your story, you want to share your challenges, your struggles, and your triumphs. Those three things. And he said your success may impress people, but your struggles make you relatable. And so he said if you don't have like share stories to share yet, he said share other people's stories. It doesn't have to be your story, and someone doesn't have to know that they're not your best friends. You just say, hey, this is Bob's story, my buddy. You know what I mean? And what's that? Share other people. And overcoming struggles will inspire people. You know? So you got to make sure you share your struggles, not just your successes. And then the 4 parts of a story that you need to have, the 4 things you need to have in your story are your background, what you didn't like about your situation, your solution, which is Beachbody, something Beachbody related, either the business opportunity, your workout programs, or Shakeology with the nutrition plans, and why you are excited about the future. And he says share it regularly. And then share regularly, and you should share just enough to get people to find common ground. Share just enough to find common ground with certain people. So everyone's going to be different, so you're going to share your story with everyone a little bit differently. So you don't have to share the whole thing with one person because some parts of your story may not relate with that kind of person, but your other parts of your story will. So you kind of have to pick on where you share your stories with. And then if you don't have an impressive story yourself, share other people's. And Vito LaFada, his kind of rolls right into that. And he was saying with your everyday post on Facebook. So every post you post on Facebook should be a storytelling. It should have your kind of like a background, your what you didn't like about that background, your solution, and then why you're excited to go ahead in the future. And then you want to find your niche. So most people should know where their niche is and who they're targeting. And he said find 10 problems that niche normally has, and then create 10 solutions for them problems, and then share those throughout your Facebook. And then he said common ones to go off of is most people don't have time. So make sure a lot of your posts are how you struggle with time. This is how you overcame it, and you're excited because of why. And then make sure you add value to the people when you post on Facebook, because they posted a bunch of videos like a dog. It would shoot a ball down the hall. The dog would go get it and bring it back. And then who's seen the Chewbacca video, that woman that was laughing? You know, he said that's the kind of stuff we're competing with. And if we're not creating more value than those, we're going to get overlooked. And then he said the way to create that value is either educate, empower, engage, or entertain. So those are the ones: engage, or educate, empower, engage, or entertain. And then he said the enemy to your success in this business will be quitting. That's the only way you will fail in this business, is if you quit. And then make sure you give meaning and purpose to people in their lives. Let's see. All right, now Mike Ryan talked. He was a big one because he he told us a story of how he was on connecting with people and relating to people. And that was something I always struggled with, is connecting with people and building relationships. So he said he was on a gondola. He was going skiing on the ski ride up. It was about a 20-minute ride. He said these beer distributors, they were holding a party there. So he just kind of started talking to them and saying, "Oh, how you doing? You know, do you have any parties in my town?" They said, "Oh yeah, we do." They didn't even ask him what town he was in. They said, "Oh yeah, we do. We have one at this mountain." He's like, "Oh, that was my home mountain." He's like, "Do you guys do any advertising on social media?" And they're like, "No, our social media guy sucks." And he goes, "Well, you're holding a party. Isn't it kind of like a big deal that you have like a lot of people there?" And they're like, "Yeah, but our social media guy sucks. He doesn't know how to do it and stuff." He's like, "Well, I kind of know how to run social media." He's like, "Maybe I can help you guys out a little bit." He's like, "Here, give me your contact information, and maybe we'll get a hold of each other." He said in less than 20 minutes, he had their contact information, and later that week, they were signed up as coaches. He said just because he showed empathy with them, because their social media guy sucked, so he invited them in, and just like that, he said just empathy, just connecting with them and showing them that you care. And then he said we all communicate, but few connect. So we all communicate, but few connect. And he said the biggest way to connect is empathy. Any way you can relate or be interested in other people. And then follow up with, he said, when you follow up with people, follow up with them a little bit now. And then if they don't get back to you, don't keep following up with them every day. Wait a few months and then follow back up with them. And he said, you want to think of a follow-up like playing tennis. You hit it back to them, and they hit it back to you. And then you hit it back to them a different way. He said, you don't want it to be like a woodpecker. You don't want to just keep pecking the same spot. It's like, hey, you get my message? Hey, you get my message? So he said there's he said, make sure we all do form. Form everyone overlooks. We all talk about it, but they are a really big thing. Family, occupation, and recreation. Be generally interested in their family, occupation, and recreation, and listen to clues about them. When lead the conversation, ask questions, and when they ask you a question, answer it, but return it back to them with a question. Always try to keep the questions on them. Lead the conversation. And then he said after you ask a few questions, they'll generally start opening up to you. And men have more of an ego, so as you're kind of talking to them, they're kind of reserved. Like I found, you get a lot of one-word answers for the first couple times until you get that right question that they like. Grilling, guys love grilling. I've been using that all Memorial Day, and it's blowing up. People are like, "Oh, I didn't get no chance to grill," or "Oh, I grilled all this food." So you just got to find what makes certain guys tick and hit that home. So he made a good analogy, like when you're building a relationship with people, and you got a cotton candy. He said that you are like the stick, and all that cotton candy on the outside is everyone's story. So that's what you got to kind of get. You got to kind of build everyone's story around yours. And objections he talked about, he said those mostly are unanswered questions, and they tend to be provoked. So try not to talk. Keep your mouth shut, they said. When no one cares about your problems, just listen to theirs. Most of the time, we provoke our own objections upon them. If we don't think it's worth it, then they're going to think it's not worth it. And they're going to say, "Oh, well, I don't have enough money." And so, he was another one who said people are watching to see if you stick with it. They want to see if you're going to be here for in a year. That was a big thing that everyone said. They want you to be here in a year. Be here in a year, and you'll really see success. What else? And then he said, people don't really care how much you know. They care about how passionate you are. That's what they really care. They don't want an expert. They want to see someone who's passionate and cares about what they use. So, and then some of the other things the other coaches said. They said this business is like rubbing sticks together. If you go and like try to make a fire and you rub these sticks together as hard as you can, and as soon as you start seeing smoke, you just stop. Well, you just lost all your momentum now. And now next time you get going again, you're going to have to get new sticks, and you're going to be tired, and you're going to have to start rubbing them sticks together to try to get it started up again. So don't do that. Just stay consistent, and it'll pay off. Make sure you're building a brand. Make people think when they say, I want to get in shape, make them think, oh, I'm going to him or her for that. You know what I mean? Make them think of you. Let's see what else we got. I have over 16 pages of notes, and so there's a lot of stuff. Challenge groups. They asked a lot of the guys about challenge groups and said, who builds off challenge groups, who don't, and it was pretty split in the middle. Most guys, some guys, or half the guys built on challenge groups, and the other guys built just straight business. They didn't run challenge groups. They didn't lead challenge groups. They straight business opportunity. So they had a lot of good stuff on that. Brian Bachman, I don't know if anybody knows him. He's coming up. He's been up and coming. He recruits business only. He looks for straight business people. That's what all of his posts are for, inviting. And he's exploded because that's all he looks for. He doesn't spend no time with and then Chris Reed said something that was really interesting. He said the 3 to 5 rule. So he said make helping 3 to 5 people a month a goal. So at least 3 to 5 people, that would hit at least Success Club 5. He said then have 3 to 5 of your coaches hit Success Club. And then post on social media 3 to 5 times. Everyone knows that. And then what was the other one? And then 3 to 5 friend requests a day. And he said most people say 30 minutes of personal development. He said, hell, why not just do 35 minutes of personal development to stay with the 3 to 5 rule? And and then invite 3 to 5 people per day. So. But some of the two biggest takeaways I got from this event was, and it was hammered in all weekend, was stop getting ready to get ready. You don't have to be 100% at something. You don't even have to be 50% at something. Just go do it. Just go out there, start sharing your story. If you don't know how to, just start sharing it. You'll figure it out on the way. And then what was the other one? And building trust and relationships, like big time. I didn't realize how much I lacked that skill. Don't try to just close the sale right off the bat. Build relationships, build rapport, and then retail. You don't. So that was a big one. And I've even come back and started utilizing that and seeing how much that's helped after you just make the conversation all about them, keep asking them questions. You'll realize how you build that trust and rapport a lot faster. So they're going to be sending us a playbook shortly with everything from Dave Ward and Jimmy Hayes, their training, all their training. Dave Ward has already given us his 7-day push, what was it called? 7-day quick start guide, the videos he makes and for his coaches and everything like that. I went through that. I can post a link in the team page if anyone wants it. It's pretty good. So, but they're giving us all the top coaches are giving us everything they use to be successful. Their challenge group posts, they said everything. They aren't giving it to us right now.
Scripts.
All their scripts, all their everything they use for their coaches and to be successful. They're not giving this to us right now because they said they don't be a distraction. They just wanted us to get out and take action. So as soon as I get that, I will share it with everyone. So that's pretty much what I got from there.
Awesome, Jason. Yep. Thank you so much, man, for coming on and talking to us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Yep.
That's a lot of good nuggets.
And I love what Gary Vee said at the beginning, or what you said at the beginning about what he said, that we're all exactly where we have decided to be. You know, all the choices we've made cumulatively got us to right where we are right now. And
Yeah.
that's very true. I mean, you can't argue with that. You know?
Yeah.
You can't argue with it. So.
He also made another point. Once he said he doesn't like MLMs and like the business model, he also followed up with saying, "Who cares what I think, though?"
Right.
If you guys are passionate about it, who cares what I think?
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, do we want to open up for questions?
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? No.
And when we get those links and he posts it in our team page, we'll make sure that it gets over to everyone else so that you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, if you want it, you got it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.